Take a quick talk here and let's get into it.
That's how I feel too.
Oh boy. Oh shit.
Have you been seeing all the new kind of like updating and crap they're doing with Well Simple?
Yeah,
Or getting the emails?
Seen some of them. Not too impressed by some of it, I'll admit.
Right. Okay. I'm feeling the same way. I'm almost like, man, what the hell's happening here?
Yeah. Well, they did all the promotion deals that they did to get people in, and now people are in, so now they're just going steady, basically. And so, which means you can't stay loyal. You got to continue to move on, because that's just the way shit is nowadays. You have to continue to hop around to get all these deals, or you just get taken advantage of. But yeah, let's talk about that in a minute. I think we can start the intro. Let's roll. Here we go, folks. Let's go. Woo! Hey, folks, welcome back to Surely Sound Studio. My name is Martin. You can call me Marty, and this is my show. So let's go. Where'd he go? We do have AK with us today. What's happening, brother? How you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. Fantastic as usual. We are going to talk about some things today, and guess what, folks? The world is a casino. Who knew? And also jobs data. Interest rate hikes, yes or no? Let's have a look at that and see what we think is going to happen for the medium to short term and or the long term, because inevitably we know what's going to happen, but we're going to have some turbulence on the way there. So let's get into it and check it out right now, looking at the Bitcoin price. It is Saturday. We're coming at you on a Saturday. Normally we do Sundays at 11, but today it's Saturday because, well, it's Mother's Day tomorrow, so I'm going to go help my mom with some things and get her cleaned up at the house there, ready for her spring and summer. So, shout out to all the moms out there.
There we go.
If you have time and you're willing, show her some love.
Oh, mother.
If not, well, not everything. Can't win them all. Way she goes, though.
No.
But let's start off by checking out the Bitcoin chart here on the daily, because still looking kind of bullish, to be honest with you. If you want to see, I got another box here. We busted out of the DCA range, and now I kind of got this new box up here that's like a DCA out, which is crazy, right? I will admit I did sell some Bitcoin just a few hours ago, and well, actually, I guess I sold it when I sent the message. I used it a few hours ago for the kid's dentist bill. So
Hey, well, that's what it's there for.
That's what it's there for.
That's what it's there for. You get rid of it when it's high.
Yeah.
And you buy back when it's right back in your DCA.
Exactly.
Use it as a just cost you less money.
Exactly. Use it as a tool, right? So basically all that money that I used for the dentist, I actually was probably in my DCA range that I picked that Bitcoin up, right? So
exactly.
That's the best way to go about things. If it keeps going up, of course, you never sell it all. You DCA in, DCA out. You just use it as your value store, your tool, and over the long period of time, we know that it's going to go up because it's very scarce and it's compared to something that is printed to infinity. So ultimately, it will, over time, inevitably, only go up in dollar value. Until we start
figuring that out now.
Until we start valuing things differently. But yeah, it's funny, people are starting to figure that out, and hence the S&P 500 is all-time high. Speaking of a world being a casino, stock market is the new meme coin pool, folks. Look at this thing go, breaking everything that you can throw at it. All resistance is smashed, and just S&P 500 continues to rip, basically based on what expectations of AI in the future are. And that's about it, because there's really only 7, maybe 6 or 7 that are really holding up the S&P 500, which is supposed to be 500 of the top US companies represented on the stock market. And the 93 or 4% makes up 6 or 7 of the companies make up that. So a little bit of discrepancy there. Not very equal. It's potentially not very sustainable. This is kind of exactly where we were when the internet became a new technology emerging and being integrated into society. There was an initial excitement, initial investment, the future looks bright. Let's put all our money in and ride this thing to heaven, all the way up to the clouds. But inevitably we know what happened. It all came crashing down. And then the similar thing happened when real estate started skyrocketing and people were selling houses, or, increasing the prices of their houses left, right, and center before there was no buyers, right? So the unfortunate situation is that this is all built on speculation, and it is a casino. It is, like, by definition, gambling. Maybe an educated gamble, if anything, because you can keep in mind that it's all valued in dollars. Dollars are printed. Inevitably, dollars goes to zero. All fiat currencies fail. So something like this inevitably will continue to melt up, but they're going to manipulate you and it as much as they can to try and win at the casino, right? Because the house always wins. And so when you see things like this, the house wants to take some back here at some point. And so you got to be ready for that.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the house being Bitcoin, also nobody owns Bitcoin, so that's why you get into that rather than kind of SMP.
Well, it's interesting now because we have a stock market making all-time highs, but Bitcoin on the weekly is nowhere near all-time highs. And
this is exactly why you should be selling your stock market and buying Bitcoin right now, right? You're selling Bitcoin at the opposite.
DCAing, like, yeah, capital rotation is how the markets work one way or another. I'm not convinced that this is going to continue higher. I honestly, no. I'm still in the camp. It's like, if this, we were talking about it before, a lot, even on the small time frames, when the money flow, you see big flow in the green and then little flow in the red, little flow in the green, and then big flow in the red. It's kind of how it usually happens. There's usually like a little spot where it just kind of dips its toe, checks the temperature, tries again, and then no buyers, and then down she goes. So that would kind of line up with, of course, just simple economics. Okay. Jobs and unemployment rate rose in April to 6.9 from 6.7. Net job loss, 17,000 jobs. There's full-time work, everything. Just look at all these. Part-time work down 29,000. Wage growth remains elevated year over year, but at 4.8%, with inflation targeting 2%. Published at or reported at, I think 3 or something, 3 or 4%. So like,
reported is means we've tampered with the numbers to show you what we want.
And this is in exactly. They openly say that they do that. This is with Canada. United States actually not looking as bad, but still ultimately, when you have a future built on speculation and then a labor market that can't keep it propped up, because you need, right, the whole thing's a Ponzi. You need people to continue buying. And that's okay.
The AI data centers already canceled or they've put their projects on hold in there. So
well, yeah. So I mean, they're obviously hitting some resistance, okay? Because at some point you will run out of buyers, and then once you run out of buyers, that's when you have to start making cuts. And so we've seen that already beginning to happen with people losing their jobs. Coinbase laying off 14 or 40%, I can't remember what it was, laying off a large number of employees. Other tech businesses, companies are expected to do similar things, all because they're replacing the jobs, the managerial positions, with AI. So everyone's just kind of reporting to AI instead of a person now. So there's still people on the floor doing certain jobs, but like, it's undeniable that computers, robots,
do it in China,
they're replacing human being jobs.
Monitored.
Yeah, but the inevitable fact is that we are going to come off of this income tax based system. Oh look, I got shades on shades. I didn't even know these were on my hat. Oh, it's hilarious. Just doubling it up. Got my Stu shades and my actual sunglasses. That's so funny.
That's how serious the show is today.
Oh man, I just totally forgot what I was talking about now. But yeah, it's like it's just that kind of stuff is just, it's not sustainable. When we're clearly going to going away from an income tax based economy, right? Like everything right now, the government all runs on income tax. We need jobs to pay for everything, right? So that's obviously not going to work in a future where people can't or don't need to work or don't even get to work, right? Because of because of automation. So inevitably, you need to prepare yourself for what is inevitable in the future, and that is that this system that we have right now no longer works in the system that is being built. So you think the people that run don't know that? You're like you're insane. They obviously know what's happening. They obviously know where we're going. There's obviously a narrative how we're going to get there, and it's not going to be smooth, ideally, because it's easier for them to just screw everybody over and take it all for themselves at this point, because the world is a casino and everybody keeps falling for the same trap over and over again. So when everybody buys the S&P when it's way up here, then they just crash. Then they just crash it down and everybody sells at the bottom. Rinse and repeat. Literally, like we said before, the towel just gets rinsed, it pumps up, they rinse it out. But if you are educated and understand, right, like it's happened many times, but look what happens after it every time. And now this is the point where people are like, okay, well, every time it goes down, it just goes right back up. So just keep buying. Every time it goes down, it goes back up. So that's where all the buying pressure is coming from, because of this, the internet education.
What you just said sounds exactly like something else. Well, it keeps going down, but it just goes higher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, exactly right. Right now, S&P's up, Bitcoin's down, not much down, but it's down.
No,
it's not at an all-time high. So yeah, definitely. I mean, long-term bias, always a good time to DCA. Always. Long-term bias, Bitcoin's the winner in the future, obviously. Everything in the financial system is now being built around what Bitcoin created. So obviously it's the best. Like, I don't know, there's really not much more argument to it. All the stuff going on with Link, all the other cryptos, the blockchain, the BlackRock's idea of tokenizing everything, like that's all. Bitcoin is the first thing that, Bitcoin was it. Now they're all trying to copy it.
And
so
Canada,
it's like,
I think they went live with theirs, didn't they? Finally, or is that coming up?
Canada?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Canada approves first. Trust has launched the CADD, Canadian dollar stablecoin. So approved by Alberta regulations.
That seems weird. I'd stay away from that one.
Yeah, well, anything that has country and any country, any central bank digital currency you want to stay away from. That's for sure.
I trust Doge more than I trust that.
Central bank digital currency is countries have central banks. So you have the Bank of Canada, the BOC, Central Bank of Canada, issuing crypto, and then you have UST. There's United States ones, but it's not a CBDC because it won't be a CBDC until it's a Fed coin is what. It's funny because in Canada we have the Bank of Canada and that's it. In the United States they have the Federal Reserve, so it's like it's different. I don't know, it's weird. None of it makes any sense, so don't try and make sense of it. It's stupid, but ultimately they all do the same thing.
You're like, I don't understand.
Yeah, ultimately they all do the same thing because they just print money. But it's like the United States has USDT, which is a stable coin, but it's not a CBDC, right? But Canada has a stable coin and it is a CBDC. It's weird, right? Because the Federal Reserve is actually in control of the United States, not the United States. Yeah, anyways. Yeah. It's all a business, right? Everything just runs in a business. This is the holding company, etc. Like the United States is the company, Fed is the holding company, owned by blah blah blah. Yeah, it's just dumb. It's dumb. You're just gonna want a Bitcoin and just opt out and just learn Bitcoin. Way easier to comprehend. Actually makes sense once you understand it, and liberates you on a way like you've probably never been liberated before, because the money system is the reason why everybody is confused and not really, I don't know, living their life to the fullest, let's say. But yeah, short term on Bitcoin, maybe a little higher, but maybe a little lower. I just don't think that this rally that we're seeing altogether in even in Bitcoin, because it has been going up, it's up about 13% in the last month or so. That's solid. That's why I took some profits. It's a good thing to do. But I just don't see the sustainability with the jobs, right? And they have been talking about, and so this is really the catalyst, because the interest rates, they've been threatening interest rate hikes, I think, because they're trying to stabilize the market. Because if they are dovish in any way, people are just going to start dumping into the market and it's going to melt up. And so I think because mathematically there's no interest rate hikes coming. Like that's going to be detrimental to everything. But if it does, I mean, honestly, it is needed. It is needed. Nobody wants to hear it because everything costs more money, right? But then we have to print more, and then we have to cost. It doesn't make any sense. But all they're trying to do is kind of slow down inflation, because inevitably everything will inflate into infinity with the printing of dollars. But now, since the yield curve from where we came from years ago, this side, where we came from years ago, it's been steadily rising. But the hyperinflation yield curve eventually gets to a point where it just starts to invert because of compound interest. So the amount of debt that we accumulated over 200 years now accumulates every year. And so you can just imagine there's not much time left. We're basically going vertical in the amount of debt that the world holds, and then the interest that has to be paid on that. And for whatever reason, they just continue to pay the interest and say, we need more money, we're paying, and it all just goes to the interest. All your taxes are just going to the interest of the money. So we're borrowing from our future. So we're still paying the past. We're still paying for the past generations up here. That's what we're doing.
You might as well just default on the loan.
Well, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because, okay, well, bail us out. Right? Like, bail us out. Oh, we need it's not backed by anything anyways, right? It doesn't make any sense. It's all just obviously a tool to control. They use that to control, and they want inflation. It makes it harder for the person. The harder it is for you, the more you have to work, the more tired you will be in general, the less you'll be able to have time to think and actually realize what's going on around you. And you will just have to work, pay bills, and not actually liberate yourself and realize, hey, this ain't happening. This isn't right, you know?
But people kind of are, hey?
Exactly, man. It makes sense.
And they're too tired to even think or question or do anything about it. They just want to be told what to do and pay their bills and go to sleep, so that way they can wake up and repeat it.
Make just enough to get by, but not enough to get free. You know?
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea. So you got to understand that what is happening right now is by design. So don't be shocked by it. But it's like introduction, the hidden truth behind fiat. You're being robbed. Your money is being debased. You're hardworking people becoming cheaper.
Yeah, about gas prices. I don't know about you, but it's like $2 and something. I don't know exactly what it's at.
It's at $2.19 this morning.
But everyone's freaking out because apparently, it's the same price. The barrel's the same price as it was back in 2014, yet they're paying $1 a liter more.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Because
crude
oil is crude oil, right? The refinery process to turn it from crude oil to gas in your pump has gotten more expensive. And it's gotten more expensive because of inflation, because everything in between, every person that touches it, everything that happens in between is now more expensive because of that. And that'll never end. They want to keep crude oil at $100 a barrel. Like that's a market that's being controlled. If you look at oil over the long term, it's really only gone sideways because they don't want it to be too expensive, because then everything falls apart. And I think we were looking at that last week or the week before, but every time oil spikes up and goes on a run, it's followed shortly after by a massive recession because everything gets too expensive and wages haven't kept up. Everything gets expensive. People just have to start cutting costs. Everybody, businesses, and then job layoffs. Boom, 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 boom. The cards start falling, and they all start falling. So we don't know, we know that's obviously the cards are starting to fall. How far will they fall? How fast will they fall? Who knows? We just hope that people are resilient, but most likely it would make sense if the cards fall, the problem happens, the problem is forced. They have a problem, they provide the solution, right? So problem looks like it's likely to be created here soon so that they can provide the solution, because the tech is here. They are pretty much ready to implement the new system. I don't know.
They're crying out. That's right. Yeah. It's all right now. Just like it's going to be a test run for the next few years, and kind of where they want to see things go. How is it going to be accepted?
One of the things that Canada reported that was something about fully integrated by the end of 2027. So 2028, everybody will have a digital wallet attached to your SIN number, something like that. You won't have to do your taxes anymore, blah, blah, blah. All these things that you've been hearing about, they're saying 2028 will be so we'll see. So you can probably expect 2030 because nothing ever happens on schedule, right? So, but inevitably it's happening.
2035.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is if everybody just goes and decides to buy Bitcoin instead because people actually wisen up to the direction that they're being, led in, and they're like, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should go here. And everybody decides to put their value in Bitcoin. Well, then that liberates everybody. And then it actually shakes out the scammers, because if you go over to the CBD side, you're just going with the people who have been successfully scamming for hundreds of years. And you don't really need to do that.
Now to you.
You don't really need to do that anymore. It's just unnecessary. Like it's like the bully, the bullies are trying to do the thing, but you're just like, dude, like, fuck off. Like, I don't care. Like, stop. Dude, nobody cares. Just shut up. Like, nobody cares, man. I'm not gonna I don't care to fight you back. I'm gonna do this instead because it makes a lot more sense. Just leave. Take it and go. You go. Like, I don't care anymore, man. Like, we have means to live without you.
Watching and understanding, being like, you know what, we're doing the same. We're done with it.
Yeah. Who knows though? But it's a crazy battle. It's a crazy tug of war.
It's an interesting times for sure.
But ultimately, like, look, Bitcoin priced in gold. Silver priced, or gold price in Bitcoin, silver price in Bitcoin, S&P in Bitcoin, oil in Bitcoin. Everything's trending down. Sure, that's having a little bit of a breakout here, but potentially hitting resistance. So a couple breakouts. I don't know. I would like to see Bitcoin go a little lower, like maybe a little higher short term, but like lower by September, something like that. In September, October, that would make sense. Hold steady throughout the summer. See how the summer goes, because a lot of people like to go on summer vacations. They like to go, to the lake and do boating and all these expensive things. We'll see if people choose, to cut back, because ultimately it's like all people need to do is just get another credit card these days, and let's have a good summer. Like, I'll pay for it later, and it's not that hard. Actually, you were talking about the Wealthsimple thing earlier before we started. I don't know. I'm not going to use my Wealthsimple MasterCard anymore. I pretty much, I don't think, unless I'm actually, there's no point. There's really no need for me to use it anymore. I'm not getting 1% back in Bitcoin like I was before.
No.
I'm not getting anywhere near as much rewards. I don't think I'm getting anything anymore for that. So I'm not using that anymore.
No.
But I'm going to start using the Visa MasterCard, or no, the Visa credit card. Because I get 2% on that. So, and it just goes to the same account. So instead of using the money to put on the card, on the MasterCard, and then use the MasterCard, I'm just going to use the Visa and then put the money on after. It's so simple, right? Don't spend more than you have.
I mean, you can clearly see. We've been with them for years now. You longer. I mean, you've seen how they've changed and adapted, and just aren't, kind of who they were when they started. They got everybody over, and now they're changing again.
Well, I mean, I even said this. I'm pretty sure I said it to you. I know I said it to multiple people. What they're doing is unsustainable, and it won't last forever. It was. I knew that going in. I knew we get a couple years out of it. When every single purchase that you're doing, they're giving you Bitcoin and rewards. Like, you can do that with fiat. You cannot do that with Bitcoin. There's a limited supply of this stuff, you guys. You can't just be giving away Bitcoin. Yeah, man. Like, well, that's just the thing, right? Like, that was unsustainable. You have to understand when you see something like that, that's amazing. Like, this is crazy. It's like giving me bars of gold with every grocery purchase. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's obviously unsustainable. So we take advantage of it while we had it, and we stack some sats for our extra spending. But there's other ones that haven't. I heard Gemini's card has the sat. Either way, whoever's doing it now, they're doing it to try and gain clients. It's not sustainable, and it won't last forever. So take advantage of it while you can, if you have it. I'm currently just switching over to the Wealthsimple Visa for now, and taking the 2% off of that one. And I don't know, going to just keep doing what we're doing.
Keep stacking sats, right?
Keep finding a way. Keep finding a way, right? Keep finding a way to stack sats and getting it in your like your daily budget, you know, or or interest
Don't
or
ever
whatever,
get too
right?
comfortable with one place. You know, be willing to change and switch up if you need to.
Exactly, because loyalty isn't getting you anything anymore. It's brutal. It's brutal, man.
No.
Like,
We've been loyal to them, and yeah, I'm not getting paid in Bitcoin anymore, unfortunately. So.
It's unfortunate that the world is in a time where we aren't getting rewarded for loyalty. It's like loyalty, because you have to go and switch to the new guy to save for 6 months or whatever, new package deal for the next 6 months, blah, blah, blah. You have to keep hopping around to get these deals and then you go to another price and you're like, what the hell is this? You know, like, oh, this is just our markup and stuff. Like, what do you mean? Like, come on, man. Like, been with you for a couple years now and it's getting more expensive.
Bills getting cheaper because you've been loyal to a company. Hey, 5 years you've been with us? Sure, we'll give you 25% off every bill you get from us from now on. 10 years, 50.
Yeah, right. And you know
that's with these companies for 30-something years. I mean,
that's what it used to be like. That's what it used to be like, and companies kept their clients. But now everything is clearly such a Ponzi. It's all about the new investor. We need new investors. We need marketing, deals. Get them in. Fucking get them in, bud. We need to hand over fist. We need more. It's brutal, man. It's brutal, and it's obviously not sustainable. So get ready for the towel to get wrung out, because it's happening. And once it gets wrung out, you're gonna want to understand that you want to be in the right system. Bitcoin is not an asset, it's a system. Engineers are used to dealing with systems, right? Like, this is what you want. How much load, how much stress, material strength, failure points. This is kind of, Bitcoin is a lot more than most people can even comprehend. And even for me, being in it for how long I have, there's still new things I'm learning about it every day. Because it's not just one thing. It's a system, a network. It just has so many different points to it. Where
if it was called something other than Bitcoin, like bit something, and got rid of the coin, people would probably think that it was more of a technology rather than a currency. Right, it's the name that I think confuses a lot of people too. Is they just hear coin and they go, "Oh, it's got to be used for money."
Right, exactly. Yeah, totally, 100%. And everybody's idea of money has been completely, mistaught. So yeah. Oh God. So, but I mean,
it can be used for money, just like gold was money at one point. People used to make coins and trade little nuggets and silver and everything else.
It's divisible.
This technology.
It's divisible for that reason, of course, right? It basically handles everything you really need. But the ultimate thing about it is that it doesn't fade over time. It doesn't lose its value over time. And like, if you're worried about being too late, well, here's the adoption curve. We're only at 4.7, maybe 5% world adoption. Or same,
Seriously,
about
still
where we were.
I thought we would be a little bit higher than that.
You know what's funny? It just according to this graphic, anyways, same as the internet adoption in '99. What happened in 2000? Oh shit! See, so it's like, and the same thing happens over and over and over again. If you have the patience,
history
and
is
education,
right in your face. It's shoving it in your face, saying, "Look, it's repeating."
Yeah, exactly. If you just have the patience and the education to understand what's happened in the past, and you can connect the dots, which is a great game. I loved playing it as a kid. I encourage everybody to teach the kids to connect the dots. It'll help them in life. You just look at this and you go, okay, well, these dots are lining up here rather perfectly. What do you say other than, be prepared? Be prepared. That's what it's all about, is being prepared, because whether it happens or not, you got to be prepared. Have some money on the sideline ready to don't trip by the dip. And other than that, you're long-term stacking sats, because ultimately you're under 100K, over 100K, when Bitcoin's $1 million, it won't matter. And that's where it's going to go inevitably. You've heard me say on this show that it's never going to hit $1 million, but my reason for that being is because if Bitcoin's up around, getting close to $1 million, we're considering not valuing it in US dollars anymore. So no one will say it's $1 million. We'll just be saying that's 100 sats.
Yeah.
That's 100 sats.
Yeah.
Right.
Our currency will be changed, and if you had,
if Bitcoin's $1 million,
yeah, one or whatever, you'd be loaded.
I think if Bitcoin's $1 million, 100 sats is $1. Right, so you could say,
which would make sense. The one decimal and then 0. They can kind of still
exactly
make it a little simpler for people.
And then that's the point where we go, okay, Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. We've got, and we're right here. We're taking a snapshot.
New names, or 100 sats or 10,000 sats, or
And the cool thing is that people won't really realize it as it's happening because it'll take some time. But say you go to $1 is 100 sats. Say you go to the grocery store and you buy $50 worth of stuff. What's that? 500,000 sats. Or something, or 50,000 sats, whatever it is. Next year you'll go to the grocery store. That same thing will be 48,000 sats. 45,000 sats. It'll continue to get lower and lower in the denomination of the Bitcoin that you're actually having to spend for what you're getting. Instead of what we're living through right now is we compare everything in fiat currency, and it continues to get more expensive. When really an apple's an apple, an orange is an orange. Why is it different from from now to 5 years ago?
1970 to right now, it's the same thing. Took the same ability to make it and everything else. Why?
It's actually quite a neat system, folks, and I highly recommend doing your research and studying some BTC. But I think with that being said, I don't really got much else. The world is a casino, folks. Like, the whole idea is to soak the towel and rinse the towel, soak the towel, rinse the towel. Make sure you're soaking your own towel and don't get rinsed out by their squeezes. Wow, that's some good imagery. Some good Bitcoin. S&P continuing to make higher highs, just ripping, all-time high. Oh yeah, I remember you were talking about the gaps.
Oh yeah.
Weekend trading. All these gaps are all weekend trading. Another reason why everything's got to be tokenized so we can trade 24/7. I think a lot of the things that people are thinking about, like what's going to happen inevitably, is just going to take a little bit longer than most people think. Like, yeah, everything's going to get tokenized. Maybe we continue to melt up a little bit further. Things get crazier. If it's 1999, it was still 2000 when the .com bubble happened. So we could continue on with irrational price discovery in the stock market and other things for another, even 6 to 18 months, right? But it's gonna, I just don't know. It's tough with people losing money. There has to be new investors. So at some point it gets too expensive and everybody just says, well, I can't. Wish I could, but I can't. And that's usually when everything all starts taking a turn and we do a little correction, because there's no need for people to be as aggressive as they are with this, because it would be nice if everybody just kind of went straight up into the right, and that would be your pension. Basically, when you're young and able, you buy into the stock market, and when you're older, you sell your shares so that you can live, and you sell them to the younger guy so that he can sell them to the next younger guy so he can sell them to the next younger guy. It's called a Ponzi scheme, folks. The whole system is a Ponzi scheme. So just get in line with the best performing one, and that would be the king. Arguably it's not, but if it's compared to US dollars, then it is, because you tie it to it, that's what it is. Oh, Bitcoin's pumping right now.
I know.
Not really though.
No, but it's had some major
weekend
candles.
So this is actually kind of what I was worried about. Weekend volume is a pump. We wanted weekend volume to be a dump.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I was hoping
for higher prices, but who knows? Maybe this is the Saturday Sunday run up to the mid 80s. Saturday Sunday run up to the mid 80s before next week everything falls apart.
It's looking like if it can get up to 84, we're probably going to continue up. I'm hoping we don't. I'm hoping we lose this. I'm hoping we lose this support, go back down to 78, and then hit 74 again.
Yeah, it'd be nice to come down and sort of fake a downtrend here, not make the lower high, or not make the higher high, and make the lower high come in. Because, well, I mean, I showed you that, yeah, 82, in between 81.5 and 82 is eyeball for next resistance. But, yeah, this is a pretty crazy price action, like making it look like it's going to roll over and then does make a lower high, but also perfect one. And so, you know, do we do it again? This is the VWAP up here at 83,420. So come up here and then may potentially get a bearish divergence right here and right here. And maybe so we take the high out, and then, you know, then maybe we continue our larger fractal, because this is looking somewhat like a fractal forming here.
I'm still holding on to it. I no longer know when it's happening, but we are going to see 5-10% drop again here one day.
Yeah,
you know, maybe it's got to go higher for it to come back down, so it only, you know, hits that 70K mark.
Well, look at the pattern here. Look at the structure. See how we had this sort of incline here, and then we broke it, and now we're underneath that incline with a perfect rejection from it too. So even if we do come back up here and hit this trend line again, we're decreasing our incline, which goes up and then eventually sideways and then eventually down, and then it goes down, eventually sideways, and then back up. Eventually sideways and then down. Eventually sideways and back up.
Which would put you pretty much, you know, right on par for the end of the year, continuing the downtrend here as we're kind of stabilizing maybe.
Yeah. So, you know, if she just comes up here and makes another high, we're looking there. We haven't really seen like one of these where we're pumping and then we just see a massive rejection. A nice big, you know, did this even really swing any highs? This didn't even really swing any local highs there. So, you know, I guess arguably that's kind of what this looks like. But when you see a real SFP or a real like rejection, it's pretty quickly followed by a reversal in price. And so I guess we kind of saw that. Are we coming back up for some little bit more sustained before coming lower? I don't know. We'll see. Always interesting stuff though, folks. Can't take my eyes off it. It is crazy. But yeah, I think that's pretty good for today's stream. That makes a lot of sense to me. Hopefully helped anybody out there. I didn't even check. Oh yeah, we got tons of questions in the chat. That's too many that I don't think I can get to all those right now, but maybe next time. So yeah, smash the like, guys. You know, subscribe, consider subscribing. You don't really have to if you don't want to. We're just on here for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. Nothing I do or say or AK does or says should be taken as financial advice. Do your own research, folks, and make sure yourself you have a very nice day. Find a way to liberate yourself one way or another. Get outside, touch some grass, soak up the sun, make a new friend. Who knows? Read a book. But anyway, have a good day. All right? All right, AK. Talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah. No, we'll see you. We'll probably see you next weekend there.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm going to go coach some ball, so we won't be able to get to the golden tee today. But let's hit it up next week. Let's hit it up next week. Good. All right, man. Good stream. Peace out, folks. Peace out, AK. Absolutely. Everybody have a good one.
Have a good one.
We're out. I recommend putting your opinions aside and learning how to think logically